Big L was, you know, when I was doing Crazy Like a Fox, DITC was producing the album first. And Gel was in the studio, just, you know, hanging out. And he would always start these like competitive conversations. Like I'm working on an album right now and I'm doing my shit. I got Finesse's over there making his beats or setting up the beat to print. I got Buck Wilder's over there with his joint, the headphones on, listening for the joints that he gonna play me. And I got like the whole damn near Diamond wasn't there and some of the other guys, but it was Finesse, Showbiz, Big L, myself, and maybe a couple other people. And this guy starts off this conversation going, he said, so yo, who y'all think is better, G-Rap or Rakim? So I'm in the studio like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Come on, I'm in the middle of a session and now you want to have a G-Rap Rakim argument and shit? So he goes, I think Rakim is better than G-Rap. So I looked at him and said, man, go ahead with that shit, man. Get out of here, yo. G-Rap is way better than Rakim. And I said that because I knew it was gonna piss him off. And then he said to me, you fucking crazy. G-Rap can't fuck with Rakim. And then he'll turn around and say, you know what, but Rakim is nice though. But G-Rap is nice though. And then I go, nah, Rakim will get him. He'll go, no, nah, you right, G-Rap. And then just because I said the opposite, he say the opposite. So I started getting aggravated. We're like, yo, L, shut the fuck up, man. And the conversation was over 10 minutes ago. And then he'll be quiet for a minute and then he'll wait until I'm get ready to start doing something and focus, and then he'll go, I think Rakim is better than G-Rap. And he'll just start the whole shit again. So I got mad at him because he kept talking while I was trying to listen to my shit. And I couldn't do nothing to him because he was like our little brother, you know what I'm saying? But he used to just fucking and he always knew I was competitive with those guys, G-Rap and Ra. You know what I'm saying? He always knew that he was being a fucking asshole because he knows that those are my peers. Even though those are my brothers and I love them, there's always been a thing where we always got to be the best of each other. You know what I'm saying? And those guys are on that A level. I always try to compare myself or either have that kind of gauge to be able to rock like, you know what I mean? If I could stand on a level with guys like that, I was always honored. So I knew that for him to be talking about G-Rap and Rakim in my session was annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, little dude. And then at the end of it all, he calls me one day and he said, yo, man, yo, OG, man, I know you mad at me, right? But I need to see you, man. I said, what's up? You all right? He said, yeah, meet me in front of the Apollo Theater. I was like, all right, cool. So I came to Manhattan and shit. I pull up in front of the Apollo Theater. I jump out the car and L is standing there. He's like, yo, what's up, OG? He gave me a hug and shit. And then he gave me a cassette with beats on it. He said, yo, you would sound dope on these beats. And he gave me a cassette with these beats on. I got it somewhere in here some fucking way. I gotta find it. But he gave me this cassette from Flamboyant Entertainment with about 4 or 5 beats on it. And he said, you would sound dope on these beats. I said, you know, I ain't mad at you, dog. You just get on my fucking nerves sometimes. He goes, yeah, I know. I just be fucking with you, though, Fox. And then he hugged me and we was good. But that's how he was. You know what I'm saying? I would have never done nothing to him because, you know, Showbiz and them is my brothers. We all family, man. You can't be beating on your brothers and shit like that. That is corny. But he was definitely, he knew how to get under your skin. And I think he did that to push your buttons to get you motivated, especially in the studio. Because you get mad, bro. You know, listen, Biggie did it with Lil' Kim. He would get on her nerves, man. She would turn that shit into the hardest bars. The way she delivered her shit. Half the time Biggie was getting on her motherfucking nerves, she was delivering because of that. She knew how to channel. A lot of MCs, artists know how to channel. You know, that's what Big L would bring that out of you. You know what I mean? But nobody could fuck with him lyrically. He was sick, you know. And he was just. I think a lot of that had to do also too with his personality and the way he delivered his bars, his flow, his style. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats emulated that. It originally came from Lord Finesse. You know, if you just look at the similarities, you know, Lord Finesse birthed Big L. Anybody that denies that is full of shit. You know what I mean? So I always look at Lord Finesse as the father, and I look at Big L as the son. Because he birthed Big L, and you know, of course, DITC was his family. That's that. You can't knock that. Hey, you know, so funny. I'm gonna show you the song. I was making. I'm gonna show you the song I was making the day that he did that. Yo, the day he did that, I was doing a song that he ended up using for one of his projects. This shit was dope. It was let me show you the name of this song. I think it's called, is it Call It a While? Hold on a second, let me see if it's
Call me Fox the Militant Mac, Mr. Microphone, whatever you wanna call me. Just let me touch the microphone and watch the rappers fall, G. I'm breaking them up like cut grass. It just takes a fat beat and I'm all in that ass. Yeah, there's a fox in the chicken coop messing around, chasing the mother hen down with a 3-pound. I got you rappers on the run, you niggas are scared to death. And when I finish ripping ass, there'll be nothing left. I'm not one for giving rappers ultimatum. See, maybe I shoot them now, cause I might not see them later. I never touched the microphone that I couldn't break.
And the way I delivered on that song had a lot to do with him getting on my nerves, because he was pushing me. He knew what was gonna push my buttons, and he was pushing me to spit that a certain way. And I did just that. I barked through that motherfucker. I was so mad at that dude, man. But he actually actually helped me out. You know what I mean? Because he was that way. You know, he just sit there listening to you rhyme all day. You know, most guys like him don't have reactions to like people's verses and shit like that, especially when you know your shit is like A level, you know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna be around like most people like, oh shit, like what you do, you know, and I'm saying some shit, but his shit was me, was like, yo, I know this dude can spit this record harder than that. And then he said that's when that shit started. I was like, you know what? And I did it. You know, that was his way. I wish he would have rather just said, yo, Bump, lay that again, man. You can do it harder. But instead, he wanted to, you know, he wanted to get me to dig deeper. I love him, man. Rest in peace to my little brother. He was the guy, you know. He was the guy for sure.